Hello, and welcome to Gay by Gay. My name's Adam.
I'm JJ.
And today we're talking about drinking. In honor of St. Patrick's Day, which has to be offensive, right?
Offends my Irish heritage, which I assume I have, given my last name.
Let's just tackle the big green elephant in the room.
Uh-huh.
You don't drink.
I don't drink. And you do drink.
Constantly.
Really?
No. Well,
How old were you when you had your first drink?
oh boy. 15.
And then did you immediately conclude, oh yeah,
There was like a moment where I sipped a Coors Light and I was like, bing! I was like, my life! And then I just was like, shots.
Well, that's the thing, because
Hospital.
it's like... I've never had alcohol because, in part, I feel like no one has ever justified why I should. And I feel like the onus is not on me to justify why I haven't, it's on other people to justify why I should. I'm just curious about, when you were sampling liquor for the first time...
Yeah.
Did it ever occur to you, this is great and delicious and I want to consume more of it? Or did it just kind of emerge as, well, this is a social expectation in my milieu?
And it still does. I constantly have revelations where I'm like, I don't like it. I don't even necessarily like the feeling of being drunk.
Yeah.
And I don't like the taste of most liquor. I've stopped drinking wine altogether because of it. I like one beer. I drink a lot of cider because I find it the most tolerable, but I'm never like, I gotta have a cider. I just don't have that. So it actually is strictly social. It's just to fit in.
I just imagine it tasting really, really, really bitter. Like a very, almost... Because I once tried... I've never drank real coffee. I'm anti-caffeine as well.
Of course.
One more high horse
You're an anti-caffer, as we call it.
I'm an anti-caff, as they say, yeah.
This is what's horrible and interesting about this, is it is something that you just get used to.
Yeah.
So, I remember hating beer when I first tried it. I was like,
Yeah.
how the fuck does anyone like this and drink this on even a monthly basis? But now I'm like, oh yeah, you get used to it. And coffee, you kind of acquire a taste for it and then you get addicted to it and then it rules your life.
But you're saying that you crave it now?
Liquor?
Yeah.
No.
Not at all? So you never
I never do. I with all confidence could tell you I could never have a drink again if I was so inclined.
So you never drink at home? Alone?
No. Well, no. That would be a problem, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean...
I like going to a party and drinking with people because it is a fun thing to do. And actually, the feeling of being drunk, it can be fun, but there's a cycle, right? Alcohol's a depressant, so you wake up the next day and you don't feel great about your choices, you feel physically horrible, and you vow to never drink if you get a really substantial hangover, and then that subsides and all you remember is oh, what fun I had, and I was so socially loose and hilarious, even though you definitely weren't.
Is it just merely that it's something that's present in the social circumstance, or is that the act of sort of getting a little bit soused makes you a little bit more loose with your behavior and with your speech and that kind of thing, and that is what's fun? Is sort of being around people that are kind of in this state of chemically induced...
Yeah, it's that, for sure. You get more social, you get you feel more fun, you're more inclined to dance, and it's the process of it too, right? Me and my friends will play drinking games still, as 30-year-olds. Gay culture, to bring it back to Gay by Gay, is so intrinsically linked to drinking. And I wonder why that is.
The gay bar has been such a central locale, right? I mean, it's perhaps if for some reason, the gay community was revolved around, I don't know, some other gathering place that didn't have alcohol, I was going to say a restaurant, but restaurants have booze as well. Is there any, gathering place that doesn't involve alcohol?
Church. No.
Yeah, the gays aren't going to gather there.
Christ's blood is 50 proof or something.
Well, alcohol is a huge part of, sports culture, right? Sports teams always go drinking after the game. I mean, it's a big part of politics, right? Because politics is all about gathering and drinking at, cocktail parties and this sort of thing.
Yeah, but it's not Bernie Sanders' campaign is sponsored by Absolut. Everything in queer culture is fueled by alcohol. That's a sweeping statement, but you know what I mean?
It's true.
It really is. It the Pride Parade is an alcohol-fueled thing. Most apparent image of gay culture is what's going to be the loudest and out there and Davy Street kind of party culture. So all you really see is the presence of the drunk gays, not the family gays who sit at home and feed their kids.
Well, this culture of liberation, right? The culture of having fun. And and it's viewed in contrast to what we presume gays have traditionally been forced to do, which is to be repressed and to be controlled and to be very sort of disciplined in a way that we see as being artificial or oppressive or whatnot, right?
But now you're going to start vaping. Tell me about that.
For some reason, I find it very compelling. Like I really like the smell of it for some reason. Like whenever there's like a guy who's like vaping and walking in front of me down the street, I always like take a sniff.
Specifically vaping?
Yeah, because vaping comes in all these different smells, right?
You've never had a drink. You've never had a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
But you want to vape. Like it's 2016.
Yeah.
Don't vape. Please don't vape. Vaping culture.
It's got a real stigma to it.
It really does.
It's really associated.
Because it's going to be a flash in the pan. We're going to look back on that like Furbies. You're going to be like, oh my god, you bought a Furby? I think if you went to a gay club, as we've discussed,
yes,
you would drink.
I would probably
try and forget the images.
Exactly. I could see myself being driven to alcoholism as a coping mechanism.